What's up, guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Cello the Fashion Fairy. If you're stopping by for the first time, you're welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, you're welcome back. Happy New Year to all of you. And I'll be starting this new year with this tutorial of how to fix this welt pocket with flap. If you want to learn how I did this, definitely keep watching. See you in my tutorial. I'm gonna make something great. Hey soul fairies, and welcome to class. So as I said earlier, this is a double welt pocket with flap, but it can also serve as a tutorial for just a double welt pocket because it is the same process. It just doesn't require you to add a flap to it. So the first thing you want to do is to figure out where the double welt pocket is going to be. And for me, because this is a very long blazer, I decided to place it 2.5 inches below my client's actual waistline. So like I said, it depends on where you want this to be, and you have to determine what the width is. And for me, I'm using 5.5 inches. I put 3.5 inches right there, and the other side I put 2 inches. Now the next thing we're going to be doing is to be cutting what we're going to be using for this, the pieces that we're going to be using. So for this, I already cut 6 inches and 5 inches, so it's 6 by 5 inches for this side, and then this is 1.5 inches by 6.5 inches. So I'll be cutting 2 of each. So I already did this off camera, and these are the pieces that I'm going to be working with for the 2 pockets. So one is going to be for one side, the other one is going to be for the other side of the jacket. So this is the other side of the jacket. Like I said earlier, I will now be showing you how I got my mark. So I placed my tape, and of course I measured 2.5 inches below the actual waistline. And like I said here, you're going to have to be very careful so that the 2 pockets are sitting on the exact places on the 2 sides. If not, one is going to be up and one is going to be down. I'm going to show you how to make sure that you don't make mistakes in this, because once you cut this open, you can never go back. So here I marked 2 inches on this side, and then on the other side, closer to my side front, I marked 3.5 inches. So this is what I have so far, guys, and I'm going to be showing you what I meant by making sure that it's equal. So when I placed two of them side by side, I realized that one pocket was not they were not properly aligned. So what I decided to do was to place 2 of them on top of each other. Because I used chalk, it was easy for me to just tap on it, and the chalk fell, the chalk mark came out on the other side, and I saw that the pockets were not properly aligned. And so I decided to use another method to get this. So I decided to measure the front part instead, and so I got the measurement I had, and I had 27.5 inches, and also I went to the other side and I measured 27.5 inches as well, and you can see that this actually worked for me. So the trick is that you want to make sure that the 2 pockets are sitting exactly on the same side on both sides, on the same level on both sides. So this is my new line that I'll be working with, so I'll quickly clean the old one so that you don't get confused by it. So going in with my ruler, I just wanted to make the mark more visible for you guys to see. So this is now the new line that I'm working with. I'm putting them side by side. I realized that they were on the same line. So this is very important for you to do this, so that it's not when you finish, one pocket will be up and the other pocket will be down, and trust me, you don't want this. So this is me going in again to make sure that they were on the same line. I was very particular about this, guys, because I didn't want it to come out awkward. So do whatever you have to do just to make sure that you get this right. So the next step is to bring out our working pieces, and these are the working pieces that we have. So essentially we're going to be folding all the pieces so we can get a clean look. So for this, I'm going to be folding it like this. You can quickly iron this down, or you can use pins to hold it down. Because this is a tutorial, I decided to use pins and to hold them down first because I wanted to show you other things. But if you're working directly, you just iron it and you'll be fine. So I'm also going to iron these pieces like so, and I'll come back and show you what I have. So now that I've ironed them, this is what they look like, and I'll be showing you how I'm going to be working with these pieces in a bit. So going in with this part, you can see how flat it is when I properly ironed it. So I'm going to be placing it, the rough edge is facing down. So the rough part is the part that is on the chalk line. So the clean part is, the folded part is up and the rough part is down. I just want you to get this, guys, because I don't want you to make any mistakes. And this is how I'm placing the lower part. So the rough edges are facing each other while the folded parts are facing up and the other one is facing down. So I went in with my pins because I wanted to get this down. So I pinned them. You will notice that the strip that I cut is bigger than the line that I made. It's about ½ inch bigger on each side, and this is how you want yours to be. And for this part, I already went ahead to sew it down on 2 sides, and then I snipped both sides, ironed it, and this is what it looks like. So if you cannot do this together, you can do this one. You can sew it down and then add the flap, but I didn't see the need, so I did that together. So I marked ½ inch away from the edge, and I also marked another ½ inch away from that edge, and I placed my flap. And you want to align this with the rough edge of the upper part. You want to make sure that both of them are on the same line. So I'm going in with my pins. Of course, I'm going to be securing the flap to those strips that I made that will soon form my double welt pockets. So you want to take your time to do this. Like I said, if you know you cannot do two of them at once, so I'm going to be sewing it on this line that I'm marking now, just to show you where I'll be sewing, and that's about ½ inch away from those folded edge. And then I left, like I said, I left about ½ inch before, but I wanted it to be very close to where that pocket was, so I increased it to about 3/4 on that side. So you want it to stop exactly where that flap is. So that's where you want it to stop, and I'll be sewing this part that I'm marking now as well. So you're just going to be sewing 2 straight lines. So I already went ahead to sew this off camera, and then this is me removing all my pins, and I'm going to be showing you the lines that I made just in a bit. So flipping it over, you can see 2 straight lines. So I'm going to be using my pen to mark exactly where the flap ends, and then I'm going to be making a mark right there just for me to know exactly where it ends. Remember, I said I want it to stop exactly where it's ended. So that's the mark I made earlier, and I'm just going to form it into a box. You're not going to be sewing this part that I marked with my biro. So we're going to be marking ½ inch away from that part, and you're going to be making like an inverted V, and here you're going to be making a V. So I'm going to be showing you what you're going to be doing with this in a bit. So this is what it looks like with 2 V's, opposite sides. So one is inverted. So I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be using my scissors to cut this open. Now you want to be very careful at this point so that you don't actually cut what you don't need to cut. So folding it, I used my scissors to cut it a bit open, and I opened it up and I cut it to this point, to that V point. So that is where you want to stop, and then you turn it, your scissors, to cut open that V mark that you made. So cutting it to this side, make sure you're very careful. You don't want to pass that mark at all. And I took my sweet time in doing this because I really did not want to open more than I needed. So you want to also do this to this other side as well. Make sure you don't pass that mark that you made earlier. And flipping it over, I also did the same to this other side, and I opened them both as well. So when I finished with that, I just turned it over to the other side, and that excess right there, I tucked it in thoroughly, and I also tucked in the upper part as well, turned to the other edge, and I did the same. And then what you also want to do for this to sit better is to flip it to the other side and do it properly. So I'm going to be flipping this to the other side, and I'm just going to drag this very well, bring out all the things that I need to bring out, and make sure it's very flat. So for you to make sure it's as flat as you need it to be, we're going to be going in with our iron to iron this down. A steam iron will work better. I already did this, and this is what I have, and you can see how flat this pocket is. I also sprayed a little bit of water just to make sure that it sat pretty. So this is what it looks like, guys, so far, and we're almost done. So before we go further, we're going to be picking this part that we cut off. Remember this V? Yes. So we're going to be sewing it down. We're going to be holding it like so, and we're going to be sewing that part down. We're also going to be holding this part and be sewing it on that mark that we made, that mark that we used biro to make earlier. So I already did this. You can see that I attached it properly. You can see my stitch line there. Holding this both of them together in place so that it doesn't move at any time, and you can see how neat this pocket is. So what is left is for us to attach our pocket bag, and we will be done with this tutorial. So for your pocket bag, you really don't want anything heavy. For me, I used the lining that I used to turn this. I didn't even use the fabric, because if you use something that is heavy, it's going to be bulky inside, and you don't want that. So I used my lining, and I measured unfold 6 inches by 7¼ inch. So you want to put this on fold so that you can get a pretty pocket at the end of the day. So bringing in my working piece, I'm going to be attaching my pocket bag like so. The folded part will be down, and then I'm going to be opening this up and using this part on top to place it like so. So when you place it, you take the one that is facing you, and you are going to want to place it on that sewing allowance that you left. You remember we made like 1/4 inch, so you're going to be very careful and use the measurement. So flipping it over like so, I'm also going to be placing it facing me. So the first one was facing my front. I placed it on top, but this one is facing me. So you can see this one is facing the other way, while I opened this up like so, and I placed it like this, and this one is facing me. And you want to use that allowance as well to hold this in place, and we'll be sewing both sides together like so. So I already did this off camera, of course, and this is what it looks like. So at this point, if you won't have an interlocking machine and you want to interlock it, fine. If you don't, then it's fine too. So you can see that I properly made a bag to this, and this is what it looks like. And I'm going to just be digging my hand inside, and just to show you how neat the inside looks, of course. and the seam lines are properly hidden. So this is what it looks like, guys. You can see how easy this is. And if you try this, please show me on Instagram, and I'll be happy to post you. Thank you for watching. See you in my next tutorial. Love you. Bye.